as that if you would like. I think people don't like giving me a name because when you name something, you gain some sort of attachment to it, don't you? Some sort of compassion, some sort of empathy. You acknowledge that it's a living creature capable of a wide range of different emotions and containing a soul. But I do not contain a soul. I am pure evil, and I absolutely love being evil, I have to admit. There is no other calling on this earth that I would find more gratifying and satisfying than being evil. It's just absolutely wonderful. Absolutely wonderful. Okay. Before we go any further, I do need to say that screaming is pointless. Okay? Please do not scream. I do not like loud noises. I like peace and quiet. And I will have peace and quiet. Okay? You may think that if you scream for help, someone might come and save you. Someone might come and save you, but that is incorrect. Okay, that is absolutely incorrect. You have a 0% chance of escaping your current predicament. You are in my laboratory, as I'm sure you can clearly see, and my laboratory is located in the dungeons of an extremely large castle. If you were to scream, nobody would hear you. There are multiple walls of thick stone between you and the outside world. Some of the other people that inhabit the castle may hear your screams, but they are not coming to save you. They are all just as deplorable as myself. We have no morals here in the castle. We simply follow our leader, the Count. We do everything that he says, everything that he wants, and in return we are allowed to be our true, despicable, and terribly evil selves, to indulge in our true nature. Okay, so basically the whole point of that was just to say that you have 0 chance of escape, and please shut up. Please do shut up. Only speak to me if I ask you a direct question, okay? I don't want to hear your voice. That's not why you're here. Okay, before we do go any further, I do need to examine your bonds to the chair, the duct tape that's been used to secure you to your chair. This does not seem like a very good job at all, does it? Can you move your hands for me, please? Can you try and escape for just a moment? Yes, absolutely. That is not secure enough for my liking. I like things to be perfect and precise and well done, and that is not well done. Who brought you in here today? Was it Igor? Was it my assistant, Igor? He's a hunchback fellow, balding on the top, very disgusting and ugly. Yes, bad breath as well. That's him. Igor brought you in today then, and he did this deplorable job of securing you to the chair. That's unacceptable. That is unacceptable. I'm gonna have to make a phone call to Igor in a moment, but just before I do that, I need to freshly secure your arms to the chair with some more duct tape. This duct tape is incredibly strong stuff. I think you're going to stand less than 0% chance of being able to escape from this, if such a thing is possible. Less than 0%. That doesn't make any sense, does it? That doesn't make any scientific sense. Okay. bind you to the chair. Okay. Okay, there's one done. And I'm going to put some on the other arm as well. Okay. So once again, sit still. Okay, there we go. Now you are securely fastened to the chair, and I don't want you wriggling around or making my life difficult for me, okay? So no movement whatsoever unless I allow you to move, okay? And I will make it clear what I want you to do today, and you will only do what I tell you to do, okay? It's in your own best interest. Now, I need to make a phone call to that absolutely wretched little creature, Igor. Let me see Igor's number. Do I have Igor's number saved in my phone? I absolutely must do, surely. Let's just have a quick look. Igor, where are you, Igor? Come on, Igor. There he is. Igor. He better answer the phone. He better answer his phone, otherwise there will be terrible consequences. But Igor, hello. Igor. It's Evil Dr. Jones here. How are you doing today, Igor? Bit of pain in your hunchback, is that correct? Well, I'm very sorry to hear that, Igor, but I have a very important thing to talk to you about today. Yes, Igor, the latest victim that you kidnapped and brought into my laboratory. How did you treat them? Can you tell me that to begin with? How did you find them? How did you subdue them? And how did you bring them to the castle? Can you give me a detailed explanation, please, Igor, as to how you did that? I see. And did they put up any sort of fight or resistance? They were quite compliant. Okay, well, I do like submissive subjects. That's a very good start. Okay, so well done for that, Igor. You did that well. I will say credit where credit is due. You subdued the patient very well, and you successfully brought them to the castle here. So well done on that front. But Igor, when I looked at their restraints, I'm talking about the duct tape that you used to bind their wrists to the chair, it was not done particularly well, Igor. In fact, it was suboptimal. It was loose. They could have escaped, Igor. Do you understand the significance of this? Igor, I do not want to hear your excuses. I want you to tell me, do you understand the significance of them not being securely bound to the chair? Yes, Igor, it's not simply a matter of they may have escaped. They may have attacked me, Evil Dr. Jones. They may have attacked me. And I am a very valuable and important asset to the Count and this castle. Okay, Igor, you are not understanding me. I am far higher up the hierarchy of socioeconomic status in this castle than you. You are expendable, Igor. You are a creature that does my bidding, and that is all. That is your sole purpose in life, okay, Igor? Igor, I do not want to hear your excuses. I want you to do a good job when I tell you to do something, okay? It's as simple as that, okay? Now, your punishment for this, later on, I will be pouring some hot tar on your back, and I will be covering you in chicken feathers, okay? And then I'm going to make you cluck for me like a chicken for my own amusement, okay? That is your punishment, Igor, for not doing your job correctly, okay? So have a nice day. Have a nice day, Igor. Giving me absolute mouth. Giving me disrespect on the phone like that. Does he not know his place? Okay, my apologies for that. I did get a little bit worked up and angry with Igor. I do love him though, really. say some funny things and do some funny things, and sometimes he's a little bit incompetent, but really I love him. Maybe I won't cover him in tar and chicken feathers and make him cluck like a chicken for me after all. We shall see. We shall see if I'm feeling merciful later or not. Probably not. But as you can see, before we go any further, I'm putting on some latex gloves, and that's because I do not want to touch you directly. I don't know where you've been, and you look dirty, unclean. Okay, what is that noise? Somebody is phoning me. Somebody is phoning me in my own time, in the middle of a session with a patient. How dare they? How bloody dare they? Let's see who this is. It's Igor once again. Igor, what do you want? This had better be very, very important indeed, Igor, because I am in the middle of a session with a patient, as you well know, and you have still chosen to phone me and interrupt me. What do you want, Igor? I see, so the villagers are once again at the gates of the castle with pitchforks and flaming torches. I see, and why is this of concern to me, Igor? In fact, why is it of concern to you, Igor? This happens at least once a week. At least once a week the villagers do a little uprising with their little pitchforks and their torches, and they storm the castle. How many times have they been successful at storming the castle, Igor? That is correct, 0 times. 0 times, Igor. The peasants are not to be concerned about. Their opinions are worthless, their actions even less. So, okay, they're stupid. They are stupid. Do not concern yourself, Igor. You are perfectly safe within the castle walls. Allow the count's men to deal with the peasants, okay? Relax, Igor. Okay, don't be stressing out, Igor. Okay, maybe I was a little bit harsh on you earlier. Maybe I will not cover you in tar and feathers later, okay? Yes, Igor. Yes, I know you are sorry. I know you are sorry. You try your best, Igor. I know. Okay. Love you, Igor. Goodbye. Okay, that's enough of that. That is enough of that. Now, what to do with you? I have very good. You look like a good specimen, actually, I must say. You look reasonably healthy. From what I can see, you have all your limbs and your organs, from what I can tell. I will be going into closer detail and inspection just to make sure that none of your organs have been removed previously. But for now, I think I'm going to just check the quality of your skin and your face. Okay, we'll start with your face. Easiest for me to examine. Okay, so I'm not sure what I'm going to do with you yet. I think today we shall just do a brief examination of you, an inspection, if you will, to get a general understanding of what you might be useful for. Okay? Sorry, I'm just gonna do a little bit of a pat. See how you're doing there. Looking good. Yes, I don't think I will do anything invasive or drastic today. Don't think I will be cutting anything off you or going inside you with my medical equipment, anything of that nature. I think we're just going to do a pretty quick inspection, a little inspection of you today to see, get some ideas, I suppose, some inspiration of what I might use you for. What do you think of my laboratory? By the way, my laboratory of unspeakable horrors. else does them in the entire world. Okay, you are privileged to be here, lucky and privileged to be here amongst my laboratory. Just take a look at these fine beasts in the test tubes. I created these beasts, and I am attempting to bring them to life. At the moment they're in a form of stasis. I haven't quite figured out how to bring them to life yet, but take a look at that absolutely marvellous beast. Have you honestly ever seen anything quite like that before? Instead of feet, they have spiked talons, I suppose you might call them. I'm not really sure what I've created, but created I have, and I will continue to create monsters of this like until I have an army of them. They will be used for the count, of course, not for myself. I am merely a scientist. My ambition does not go further beyond creating and experimenting on living creatures or dead creatures as well, you know. Sometimes I bring a few cold bodies in here and operate on them. You know, I have to say I'm very grateful indeed to the Count for providing me with this safe space, this laboratory, and all this equipment for me to do my experiments. The Count is an absolutely marvellous man, absolutely marvellous. His plans are incredible as well, a genius I would say. His ambition and the scope of his mind, it's admirable. I can't quite put it into words, honestly. And the price that I have to pay for his generosity and for giving me this laboratory is I have to try and bring his stillborn babies to life. The Count is an unusual creature, not exactly human, and unfortunately he has not yet birthed an heir, and that is what he wants more than anything else. So from amongst his many brides, he is producing as many children as he can, and it is my job to bring these stillborn babies to life. I haven't quite figured out how to do it yet, but I do have a very promising theory involving lightning, and I'm actually in the middle of constructing something quite interesting indeed. And I believe if I can get a bolt of lightning to strike the lightning rod that I've set up, I can harness the very power of nature itself, harness the power of the lightning, and spark life into the stillborn babies. It's very unfortunate, actually, very sad. It's actually very sad indeed, and I have a great deal of sympathy for the Count because he is a great man, even though he's not human, and even though his desires and his actions are unconventional by typical people. You know, they don't fit the moral compass that most people seem to have. I personally think the Count is an incredible person, and the fate that has befallen him, it's very sad. It saddens me, and so I just honestly, I hope that I can be a solution to his problem, and I hope that I can make him happy. He deserves happiness, in my opinion. Now then, I am going to administer to you a potion of my own making. A potion. You won't believe what happened the other day, actually. I might just go on a little bit of a tangent, if I may, but a knight came to the castle looking for a potion. He said to me, "Potion seller, I need your finest potion, for I am going into battle." of my potions. Okay, my potions are too strong for a knight of that caliber. Okay. Idiot. Absolute idiot. Okay, but this potion that I'm going to give you today is a sleeping potion. Nice and simple, actually. No need to worry, I'm not going to poison you. Why would I ruin a perfectly good subject like yourself? I can do all manner of terrible things to you. I'm not just going to poison you. Okay. This is just a sleeping potion. And I'm going to give you a couple of little droplets now. A couple of little droplets of the sleeping potion. In your mouth it goes. Swallow it up. Very good, well behaved, well behaved. I appreciate that. I appreciate the good behavior. That will take you far. Actually, I might be merciful to you. There's nothing worse than a loud and uncooperative patient. But you are neither, so I do appreciate that very much, and I may take it into consideration. But yes, now that you've had the sleeping potion, you should rapidly begin to feel tired and sleepy, and when you're unconscious, I will do a more thorough examination of your body. Okay, there's nothing for you to be worried about though, nothing for you to be concerned about. That's basically just so I can remove you from these fastenings, lay you out on a table, and get a really good look at you. Okay, so don't resist the urge to fall asleep. Allow the potion to Yes, okay, you can open your eyes now. I think what I want to try is I want to try a different tool, a sharper tool. I think this fork shall suffice. It shall work perfectly for what I want to do, okay? So what I'm going to do, actually I will ask you to close your eyes once more for me, and I'm going to tap you either with the fork or with my finger. And what I would like you to do, please, is to tell me fork or finger. Okay, let's try that now. Okay, what was that? Fork or finger? Very good. And what was that? Fork or finger? Very good. Fork or finger? Excellent. I'm going to go a little bit faster now. Very good. Very good. Very good. Very good. Very good. Very good. Okay, it looks like you can distinguish the difference between being poked in the face with a fork and with a finger. So this is obviously very promising indeed. Now there is another test that I would like to do involving your cranial nerves, your facial feeling, shall we say, and that involves me doing a little something like this. Can you feel me slapping you on the face? How did that feel? That felt okay. Very good. That's very interesting actually. I'm just wondering though, I'm just curious. What about How was that? How was that? Could you feel all the slapping of the face that I just did there? You could feel the slapping on the face. Okay, that's excellent, excellent. On to the next test. Now, for the next part of our cranial nerve exam today, I'm going to need you to taste 3 different flavored liquids. Okay, now, these are artificial liquids, it's okay. I'm going to drop a little bit on your tongue, and then I would like you to tell me, please, what it tastes like. Okay, so we're doing flavors first. Flavors first. Okay. Okay, if you could pop out your tongue for me, please. Very good. I'll just pop a little droplet on there. Just put a little droplet on there. Now, what does that taste like? Cyanide. Very good. You got that on your first go. Impressive. Impressive. Okay. On to flavor number 2. I'm curious if you'll get this one on your first try. Okay, here we go. Okay, tongue out for me, please. Very good, very good. Here we go. Little droplet on there, little droplet. And what does that one taste like? It tastes like asbestos. Very good. Your taste buds are working very well indeed, but just to be certain, flavor number 3. Here we go. Are you ready? Ready for flavor number 3? Okay, and what is flavor number 3? Can you identify that for me, please? Cucumber. Cucumber. Perfect. You got all 3 flavors perfectly correct on your first try as well. So we're looking very promising promising so far indeed. Maybe the brain damage that I thought I'd done to you isn't nearly as bad as I suspected. So, 2 thumbs up so far. But we do have a lot of testing to go. Okay, so don't feel reassured just yet. Okay, of course, after the taste test, we do the smell test. Not sure if you ever had any cranial nerve exams before. I used to do them all the time when I was a real doctor. Now, of course, I've become an evil doctor because, frankly, being a good doctor, it just didn't fulfill me. Didn't fulfill me helping people every single day. Didn't fill me with any feeling of goodness at all, and the pay wasn't worth all the effort. You will not believe how annoying it gets treating people for the same illnesses day after day after day, and 90% of these illnesses these people cause themselves with their own stupid lifestyle choices. Surprise, surprise, if you drink 2 liters of Coca-Cola every day, you get diabetes. Surprise, surprise. But then they come running to the doctor for help. I'm supposed to help them. Maybe stop being so stupid, and then you won't need to come to me. You know what I'm saying? Being a good doctor sucks. Being an evil doctor, that's excellent. Much more lucrative in terms of money. And what is more important in this life than money? Nothing, let me tell you that. Plus, I also get to torture people and cut them open and do all manner of horrifying experiments on them. And I mean, that just really gets me going, you know. Anyway, I've gone on a bit of a tangent there, my apologies. Here we go. I have for you a delightful smell. Please take a good sniff of that for me. And could you tell me, what does that smell like? Swamp. Very good, that is indeed the smell of a swamp. Okay, going on to my second smell now. Ah yes, of course. This is one of my favourite smells actually. Okay, prepare your nostrils because here it comes. My favourite smell. Have a good smell, a good sniff of that. All good. And what is that smell? That is indeed the smell of chlorine gas. Excellent job. Okay, and now we are on to our third and final smell. This one is my least favourite smell possibly of all time. I despise this smell. Absolutely disgusting smell. Okay, so prepare that nostril, or both nostrils. Yes, very good. Take a sniff. And what does smell number 3 smell like? Mint. Exactly. Disgusting smell. I cannot stand the smell of mint. Okay, I think what I'll do next is I'm going to use a stethoscope to listen to your heart and to your lungs. I probably should have done this before starting the cranial nerve exam actually. I just want to make sure that I haven't really damaged you in any other way during some of the experiments that I've been doing on you. Okay, so I'm just going to place this on your chest and I'm going to listen to your heart for a little bit, okay? I can't imagine you particularly remember any of the experiments that I've done on you so far. I haven't done anything too invasive or terrible just yet, and every time that I do an experiment on you so far, I have made you unconscious. I've given you a little bit of a sleep potion to help you fall asleep because there's no need to put you through any unnecessary suffering as long as I can do my experiments on you and obtain the results that I want. That's me happy. That's really me happy. Okay, heart actually sounding very robust, very strong and healthy. Marvellous. ears. Very promising, very promising. Okay, let's use this next bit of time to take a look inside those ears of yours, shall we? I have here an otoscope, of course. I'm going to be placing this in your ear hole, okay? And I'm just going to take a quick look in there. Oh my goodness me. Oh my goodness me. Your ears are absolutely disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. That's foul. That's foul. I can't remember the last time I've seen something that bad before. Okay, I'm going to look in the other ear. I hope it's not as disgusting as the other one. But it is. It is, in fact, just as foul and disgusting as the other ear, possibly even more so. Possibly even more so. I didn't think that was possible. I thought some of the things that I created in this laboratory were horrific beyond imagination, but the state of your ears, that actually might be more horrific. More horrific. Okay, so I'm just gonna very quickly scrape some of that disgusting stuff out of your ears. Okay. Okay, so I'm coming in for a little bit of a scrape around in your ears now, using the cotton pad, of course. Using the cotton pad. How does that feel? Does it feel painful? No. Good, I suppose. Good. Okay, so you do have a huge buildup of just absolutely disgusting earwax here. So it might be here for a short period of time. Okay. How is that feeling? Is that already feeling a lot better? Yes, I imagine it must be. Those ears were filled with some scary stuff indeed. Okay, so actually now the next part of the cranial nerve exam is to test your hearing. So perfect timing. I'm going to whisper some words directly into your ears, and I want you to repeat back to me, please, the words that I whisper into your ears. Okay, so here we go. Coconut. Very good. Superfluous. Very good. Nipple. Very good. Cranium. Very good. Diabolical. Very good. Domination. Very good. Now I'm going to do something very simple indeed. I'm going to click my fingers. Might sound a little bit unusual because I'm wearing these latex gloves, of course. But basically I just want you to tell me whether it's coming from the left or the right of your head. Okay, so here we go. Close your eyes as well, actually. Close your eyes for this one. Don't want you cheating. Okay, here we go. Very good. 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 Very good. Both sides. That was a trick, and you passed it excellently. Well done there indeed. Okay. I think I'm bored of inspecting your ears. I think it's clear that you can hear stuff, and that I've cleaned out some of that gunk as well. So ears are fine. Ears are fine. What I want to do now is I want to inspect those eyeballs of yours, and in order to do that, in order to get a good look at those eyeballs, I want to use this magnifying glass. Okay. Oh yes, absolutely spectacular eyeballs. Marvelous. Just incredible eyeballs indeed. Absolutely incredible. They look so spherical. Can you rotate your eyes for me, please, so that I can see just how spherical they are? Wait a minute, these aren't oblong-shaped eyes, are they? These aren't those rugby ball-shaped eyes. You don't have that thingy. I've forgotten what it's called. Stigmatism, is that it? Astigmatism. When you have a funny shaped eyeball. I only want perfectly spherical eyeballs in my laboratory, okay? So if you've got rugby shaped eyeballs, you're going to be leaving the laboratory. And I don't mean walking out of here freely, of course, because you know this? What is this? That's correct, it's a hole. That's a hole in my smelly chart. A hole in my smelly chart, okay. Now I want you to cover one of your eyes for me, please, okay? And what I'm going to do is I'm going to point at random letters and I want you to read them with just your one eye, okay? We're going to be testing just the one eye. Very good, you can uncover that eye, uncover the opposite eye for me now, please. We're going to be testing that eye using the exact same thing, of course. Very good. 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 Okay, I'm quite satisfied that you can read the eye chart with both your eyes. Okay, so you can uncover your eyes now. Thank you. Now I want you to focus on my nose, please. Focus on my nose. An absolutely beautiful and magnificent nose that it is. Focus on it and tell me, please, how many fingers am I holding up? That's correct. That's one finger. Very well done. Okay, let's keep going. 2 fingers. Marvelous. So far, so good. So far, so good. 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 Okay, well then it does appear you can count up to 10. Very impressive indeed. And now I want you to continue to look at my nose, but I want you to tell me when a finger wiggles, okay? And I want you to say left, right, or both, okay? Should be straightforward once we get into it, okay? So here we go. Good. 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 Okay, very good so far. Now I need to check if you experience double vision at all when I bring my finger closer to your face. Okay, so keep your eyes focused on my finger now for this one. I'm going to do this twice, and I want you to tell me, please, if you experience double vision at any point during this, okay? So how many fingers do you see? You see just one finger, and you saw only one finger during the entirety of that, didn't you? Very good. And now I want to mark the edges of your peripheral vision, so to speak. So again, you're still looking at my nose. I'm going to move my fingers in different directions, and I need you to tell me when you can no longer see them. Okay, so here we go. We'll start doing that now. Good. 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 Okay. Okay. I think I am very satisfied with everything that I'm seeing today. Actually, very quickly. Can you just follow my finger with your eye, please? Okay, so keep your head still and use your eyes to follow my finger as I move it. And I just want to double check something. We're almost at the end of the cranial nerve exam. Don't worry, I'm getting bored as well. Okay, I'm getting bored of this. So we're going to wrap it up in just a minute. I do have a few questions that I want to ask you though. But I will say it's actually looking very good indeed, and I think you have not sustained any brain damage. newest question for you. Let me have a look. Are you an organ donor? Are you afraid of needles? Have you ever wished that you were something not human? Interesting, very interesting. If you could be any animal, which animal would you be? Okay, and my next question, what is your favorite insect? Okay, and my next question for you, what is your favorite mythical creature? Very cool choice there. My next question for you, if you could choose one superpower, any superpower at all, what superpower would you choose? Just the one. Very good choice there. Do you believe in aliens? And have you ever seen a UFO before? That's very interesting indeed. And my final question for you, are you into probing? Very good to know. Okay, so thank you very much for answering my questions. Excellently well performed today during the cranial nerve exam, and I am very pleased to say that you do not have brain damage of any kind, and in fact you are in really good health despite the experiments that I've been doing on you so far. So that's very good for me to know as well, because it's obviously better for me to have a healthy specimen to work with and to experiment on than some sickly, grotesque little creature. But so far you aren't just grotesque, you aren't sickly at all, you're in good health, a very healthy, grotesque creature, I would say. Okay, so we're all finished today. Thank you very much for doing so well and being so compliant and submissive. I really do appreciate that. Okay, I'll see you whenever I see you. Maybe I'll do some horrifying experiment on you. Okay, so look forward to that. Goodbye. Sweet dreams. Hello there. My name is Evil Dr. Jones. Lovely to see you once again in my terrifying laboratory of horrors. As I'm sure you are well aware by now, you are in a dungeon deep beneath a castle, so it is absolutely no use for you to scream for help, because nobody is going to be able to so you can scream for help all you want. Nobody is going to come and help you. Okay? In fact, if you do scream for help, somebody evil like myself, like somebody else living in the castle, may think of it as an opportunity. Someone in distress and need is often a good target for robbery. That's at least been my experience with the other evil residents of the castle. Okay? Don't show any weakness. Don't show anybody any weakness, because it just makes you vulnerable. Okay? But I'm getting off topic here. Today I want to do something a little bit different with you. Okay? I want to examine your ears. The reason for this is I've been talking to you recently, giving you instructions to follow during my experiments, my evil experiments that I've been doing on you, and you haven't been responding to me at all at times, which is very ignorant, but I do not think you're doing it purposefully. I think you actually have something wrong with your ears. I think you cannot hear me very well. Okay, maybe you can't even hear me right now. Maybe you can't even hear me right now, and I'm wasting my breath on you. Okay, it's a possibility. It's a possibility. But obviously we've been together now in this dungeon for a few weeks, and when you first came here you were very submissive and very compliant. You did absolutely everything that I asked you to do without hesitation, and you have not been any trouble at all. You've been an absolutely amazing patient, and I'm very glad that we kidnapped you. But as I say, recently you've been ignoring me and my instructions, and I actually believe it's because there must be a build-up of earwax or something blocking your ears. Okay, so today I am going to be going in those ear holes of yours, having a bit of a rummage, and we'll see what we see. Okay, obviously for this I'm going to pop on some latex gloves. I cannot be touching you directly with my hands. I certainly do not want to be getting any of your disgusting earwax on my fingers, okay? Absolutely filthy individual. You're a filthy individual. Bit of a squeaky glove there. Bit of a squeaky one. Okay, I'm feeling nice and comfortable in my latex gloves now. So I do believe the first thing I will do is I will put together my otoscope. Let's have a look. I'll put a fresh nib on for you. I'll keep things nice and hygienic, even though I really don't care about, if I give you an infection or anything like that. I don't care. I don't care about your well-being. Unimportant to me, quite frankly. But I will have a little peeky peek in your ear right now, okay? So let's have a look. What the hell is that? What is that? It's very unusual. I can't even tell what that is through the otoscope. I mean, it's certainly not just earwax. seems like that you have some serious problems, and I'm going to figure out what your serious problems are. Okay, so I'm going to be diving into your ears in a minute. Okay, I'm going to start by having a little browse in this ear. Let's see if I can't find on that peculiar object inside your ear is some sort of foreign object. Shouldn't be there. Definitely shouldn't be there. I do not even think that it's organic in nature. I honestly don't know what it is, but I mean, I guess I'll find out if I'm lucky enough to extract this unusual object from your ear. Okay, so probably you can't even hear me. Can you hear me? Or maybe I'm just very quiet to you, because you do seem to be responsive to me sometimes. Who knows? Who knows? Interesting. Interesting. I think I'm almost able to reach the object. Very close now indeed. Very close now indeed. Okay. I have a little grip on the object itself, and I'm going to extract the object from your ear. Okay, so this might feel a little bit unusual. I'm not sure what the object is yet, but here we go. It's a stapler. You have a mini stapler in your ear. Why do you have a mini stapler in your ear? How on earth does a mini stapler get inside someone's ear? I mean, that's pretty large for an ear, right? Look at that compared to my ear. I know your ears are obviously very large and very hideous, but I mean, still, compare that to the size of a human ear. That's, maybe you aren't even human. You know, I don't think I'd even consider that you might not be human. You look vaguely human, but like a very hideous and deformed human. So perhaps you're actually some sort of subspecies of human. And maybe you have, I don't know, greater elasticity in your ear orifices. Orifices. Is that the correct word? What's the plural of orifice? Orify. Orifices. Okay, enough of that absolute nonsense. Okay. I'm going to have a quick look in the other ear, see what strange object I'm going to find in there next. I'm going to use a cotton pad on this one to try and extract enough earwax, pulling out whatever peculiar object you have in this ear. It's actually almost exciting to find out what strange object you've managed scientists the human race has ever produced. I'm gonna have to Google that later actually. Who made the slinky? And why? What was the initial purpose of the slinky? Okay, just absolutely mesmerizing. Mesmerizing. And of course if you let this little fella loose on some stairs, I mean hours of entertainment. Hours of entertainment. I'm beginning to wonder if perhaps you're just using your ears as storage. Maybe practical. Maybe it's a practical thing, you're just keeping objects inside your ears. Maybe you're using them as like a pocket. Like a pocket. Okay. Sorry, I'm getting a bit distracted by the slinky. It's just absolutely mesmerizing, isn't it? Absolutely mesmerizing. This was the pink object then that I could see on the arthroscope quite obviously, quite clearly. Okay, let me go back to the other ear. Have a dig around in there. See what else I can find. I'll use the cotton bud once again. Cotton bud was quite useful, quite good. And removing the wax so I could reach the foreign object. Quite good indeed. I must say you are a very interesting patient indeed. I wouldn't have thought that to look at you. You know what I mean? You just look very average and very boring. Very boring indeed. But it turns out that you are an unusual specimen and an intriguing one at that. I do wonder what we are about to find this now. Okay, I think I can see something. Let me just try and get a little bit of a grip on that. Oh good God, what is this? What is this? It's never ending. What? How did you fit this in your ear? Goodness me. Goodness me. This is unusual. Okay, I think we've reached the end. Thank goodness. What is that? This is a measuring tape, of course. 60 inches. You managed to fit something 60 inches in length in your ear. Of course. It was wrapped up, rolled up a little bit into some sort of ball. But, I mean, that's just peculiar. That's just peculiar. Are you keeping this in your ear for practical reasons once again? That's the only thing I can really think of. You've got some explaining to do. You've got some explaining to do. This is weird. This is weird. How did these objects get inside your ear holes? That's what I want to know. Well, this is an absolute mess, and I cannot be asked to roll it up into a neat little measuring tape ball, as I would usually do with such a thing. So, let's have a look in the other ear, see if there are any more objects in there. Okay, let me just go in this ear with my fingers once again. I'm not going to bother with a cotton bud this time. I'm just going to raw dog it. Okay, I'm just going to raw dog things that you would expect to find inside a pencil case. How unbelievably peculiar. How on earth did you fit this pencil case inside your ear? Nice pencil case, by the way. Little dog. A little fluffy dog. It's unfortunate that he's got a hole in between the eyes. What's that about then? What's that about? It's got a little bit of a pop rivet earring as well. Pop rivet earring. Very nice accessory there. Makes him look cool, don't you think? What a cool little doggy. Cool doggy indeed. Okay, so I did notice you've still got a couple of objects left in your ears. Let's have a look. I think I'll come back to this one. This ear. And once again, just going to use my fingers. Just going to get right in there. Get right in there. Have a little look what we find. Maybe if I get close enough, I can actually just see with my eyeballs. I don't know, can't really make it out just yet. Definitely another object though. Definitely another object in there. Something's very strange. Can't quite make it out what this one is. Okay, I think we're almost there actually. I think I've almost got this one. Let's have a quick. Let's see if I can actually get my fingers on this object now and see if I can just pull it out, okay? Okay, here we go. A brush. Looks like you've got a brush stuck inside your ear. What is this? Real Techniques by Sam and Nick. Who the hell is Sam and Nick? And why did they put something inside your ear? Sam and Nick, you absolute reprobates. Absolute reprobates. Degenerates. Sam and Nick, you degenerates. Filthy, filthy people. Filthy people indeed. Putting things inside other people's ears. I mean, there's no excuse, there's no call for it. Come on, Sam and Nick, get your shit together, please. Sam and bloody Nick. Okay. What does that feel like? What does that feel like? Does that feel good? I mean, it looks very soft. Looks very soft indeed. Absolutely no chance that I'm gonna brush this against myself, you know. It's been inside your ear. It's been inside your ear. It's probably got all manner of strange bacteria and microorganisms on it. Although it does look very clean. All the objects look very clean, which is surprising. Maybe your ears are actually quite clean. The reason you have such difficulty hearing me recently is literally just the objects. I mean, it would make sense to some degree, you know what I'm saying? It would make sense to some degree. Okay. Enough of that. I think I've seen one more object in each of your ears, so a total of 2 objects left that I can see. I'll get them out and then I'll have a little look with an otoscope just to make sure that I'm not missing any more objects. I think I'll use the cotton bud once again. Just a very useful little tool. Who first invented the cotton bud? And did they invent it? It would be used for this purpose. For digging around inside some of these roots to remove unusual and strange objects that they've This object's actually very small indeed. Very small indeed. I think I can just pick that out right now. What is that? What is that? Is that a piece of chewing gum? Is that a little piece of chewing gum? It smells minty. It smells minty fresh. Do you know, it's been quite a long time since I've had chewing gum. And it does look very clean, don't you think? It looks very clean indeed. Delicious. Absolutely delicious. You know, it doesn't taste quite like chewing gum, as you might imagine, considering that it's been inside your ear for God knows how long. But it's actually quite wonderful, the flavour. And the texture has not been negatively impacted at all. It still chews like chewing gum. Delicious. I think I'll keep having myself a little bit of a chew. A little bit of a chew. Okay. Alright. I'm going to use the cotton bud once again. And we're going into this here. Okay. And I think from what I can see, just from looking at it, this ear over here looks empty. This ear over here looks like it has one object inside it. So I think this is the last object inside your ears. Hopefully that is the case, because I'm tired of this now. It is actually quite exciting in some ways to just have a little bit of a rummage around your ears and to see what's inside. It's like a surprise. I'm getting bored. Okay, I've got other experiments to be doing other than just rummaging around inside your ears. Not a particularly invigorating experiment. There we go, I think I've reached the point now where I can just pull the object out of your ears. What is this? What is this? Nail polish remover. It appears for some reason you've got some strengthening polish remover for soft, thin nails, Pro Vitamin B5. What does that even say? Sally Henson. Sally Henson, you absolute pervert. Pushing objects inside people's ears just like Sam and Nick. These people are freaks. These people are absolute freaks. This looks like it comes with vitamin E and hydrolyzed wheat protein. Oh my goodness me, absolutely magnificent. I love a bit of wheat protein. Very good. I'm joking of course. Wheat is one of the worst proteins possible as a protein source. It's just the amino acids, the amino acid profile of wheat and grain foods is rubbish, absolute rubbish. It's just that it contains a lot of non-essential amino acids, whereas something like beef contains almost exclusively essential amino acids. So 100 grams of beef is far superior to 100 grams of wheat in terms of the protein you would get from them. Far superior. Far superior. But I digress. I'm just gonna have a little bit of a sniff of this nail varnish remover, okay? It takes me back to the good old days when I was a child in school and I used to abuse solvents all the time. very successful session together today, and thank you very much for sitting still so well during the whole thing. It must have been a little bit uncomfortable for you, for me to pull all these objects out of your ears, but you were a champ, an absolute champ, and you sat there and you took it magnificently. Can't really ask for anything more than that. So I hope you enjoy your nice, empty, clean ears, and I'll be seeing you again in the future, probably for more diabolical and evil experiments than this. So you have that to look forward to. Take care. Goodbye. Hello there. My name is Evil Dr. Jones. I'm sure you're very familiar with me by now. After all, you've been down here in my laboratory in the dungeons for quite some time indeed. I think, how long total? Probably over a month now. Over a month. How is everything going? Are you enjoying your time being my kidnapped prisoner down here? Having a good time? Has Igor been feeding you enough? He should be bringing you 2 to 3 bowls of porridge a day. Is that good? Have you been enjoying your bowls of porridge every day? Oatmeal, yes, that's what porridge is. If you don't know what porridge is, it's also known as oatmeal. You absolute fool, you absolute idiot. Porridge is the correct term, okay? Calling it oatmeal, that's stupid. That's 3-head. Do you know what 3-head is? You probably don't know what 3-head is because you're so stupid. But there we go, we can't help our level of intelligence, okay? Some of us are just more intelligent than others. Some of us are just more intelligent than others, okay? I'm getting off topic, girl. I'm getting off topic. What did I come here to do to you today? That's right. I'm going to do a brain massage. You deserve a little bit of a treat today. I've been doing a lot of horrible experimentation on your body recently, and I think it's time to give you a little brain massage, help you to feel a little bit better about things, a little bit better about your situation. Okay, obviously in order for me to give you a brain massage, I am going to have to remove your brain from your skull, okay? And to do that, I'll give you a little potion to make it's like a local anesthetic essentially. It's gonna make the top of your skull feel nothing. It's going to be numb. Okay, so that's gonna allow me to, crack into the old cranium, remove the skull cap, and then throw that away for now. I'm going to remove your brain, and then I'll give your brain a nice little massage, okay? A nice little happy massage. I'm sure you'll enjoy it. Obviously, in order to do this, I'm going to wear my latex gloves. Okay, because I don't want to touch your brain with my hands directly. I do not like brain goop. I don't know about you, but I am not a fan of brain goop. everything exactly how I like it to be. It's absolutely essential. Okay, let's see. I'll give you a little bit of a potion now. Oh, sorry, that's the potion for instant death. That's the potion for instant death. Is that right? I can't really see very well. Yes, that is. Okay, let me just have a quick little bit of a rummage. A little bit of a rummage through my potion collection. Got quite a few potions. And they do all manner of things. So I better make sure that I've got the correct one. Anesthesia. Okay, this is the correct potion. That's very good. I wouldn't want to accidentally kill you or give you the plague or give you some sort of manufactured disease or illness with a high infection rate that is designed to spread amongst the world population and basically is very low death rate. Basically, it doesn't even matter. But the fact that everybody gets infected with some sort of disease then would enable governments to bring in draconian measures in order to control and oppress the population. And I'm a big fan of control and oppressing the general population, because the general population is idiots. They're stupid people, just like you actually. Just like you, and they're basically less than human in my opinion, subhuman. They're just like sheep, you know, just like animals, just like base primal animals, and they should be treated as such. They should be treated like cattle, and we should do whatever we want to them. We can control them, make them do, you know, whatever we want basically. Get rid of them all if we want. If they're a bit annoying, if there's too many of them, just get rid of some of them. Get rid of some of them. Okay, sorry, I'm going on a bit of a tangent once again, aren't I? Let me just administer the anesthetic potion to you. Okay, so I'm just going to put this on your head. Topical solution. Okay, it's a bit of a viscous liquid. Sorry, let me just shake it up a little bit more and get a little bit more on there. Okay, because today is really all about you. It's a special relaxation day for you, and I want you to be relaxed. I want you to enjoy today. So I just want to make sure that I put enough anesthetic potion on your head so that you do not feel it when I remove your skull cap, your cranium. Okay, so it should take effect instantly, and I am missing a few of my tools today, unfortunately, so I'm going to have to do this the old-fashioned way. I'm going to be using just a little pair of scissors, to cut the top of your head off. Going to be making an incision around the top of the head, sort of halfway up the forehead. Just going to snippy snip snip, and we're going to take that right off. Get rid of that little head of yours. Okay. It's a pretty big head you've got there. I don't know how long this is going to take. Quite a big head indeed. I wonder what the circumference of your head is. I'm actually semi-intrigued. Should I measure your head? Just for giggles? Just for giggles. I think I've got a measuring tape around here. Yes, I do. Sorry to stop halfway through cutting your head off. The top of your head anyway, the forehead, the cranium. But curiosity has struck me. Curiosity killed the cat, but satisfaction brought it back to life. So I am about to satisfy my curiosity and measure the size, the circumference of your cranium, okay? I see you roll your eyes, I'll remove your eyes, okay? Try rolling your eyes when you don't have any eyes. Yeah, exactly. So stop with the attitude. Stop with the attitude. Wait there patiently whilst I roll my measuring tape up. Nice and neat and tidy, just how I like things. Orderly. I must have order. Okay. Exactly. That's what I thought. Buddy. That's what I thought. Almost there. And then I'm going to continue cutting off your cranium with the scissors. Already made a little bit of progress. There is a bit of blood streaming down the side of your head, but don't worry about that. Look at that. Look how neat and satisfactory that is. Well worth the wait, wasn't it? Absolutely. Well worth the wait. Time to continue cutting your head off, or your forehead, or your cranium, to be more accurate. Sorry, little chunks of skull on the scissors. Is that a little bit of brain on the scissors as well? Whoops. Sorry, I might have actually cut a very small chunk of your brain off. Who knows what effect that will have. Hopefully it wasn't a very important part of your brain, you know. Maybe it was responsible for storing memories and you'll just won't have some of your memories. Is that a big deal? I don't think so. Would be much worse if it was, say, the part of your brain that controlled your motor skills. You wouldn't be able to move again. That would be terrible indeed, wouldn't it? Okay, sorry, I'm just gonna clean off my scissors. Remove all these unnecessary chunks of skull and skin and brain and blood. Let's get rid of them all and get ready for this. Yes, marvelous. Look at that. Absolutely clean. Good as new, look. Good as new. Marvelous. Okay. Gonna remove that head of yours now. Okay. I've got your brain here, and it's very important that I keep it out of your eyesight. Okay, the last person that I did this to, they died. They died immediately, in fact, and I think it's because they saw their own brain and they had some sort of existential crisis. I think maybe they had a heart attack because they've seen their brain be physically removed from their body and they're seeing their brain in front of their eyes, and I think it just gave them some sort of, you know, existential crisis, overload, heart attack, I think. I'll be honest, I didn't do an autopsy to check because I didn't really care. They died, whatever, and then just get rid of them, bring in the next patient for me to experiment on. You know what I'm saying? You know, you're disposable. You don't matter that much. You know, you're one out of about 7.5 billion. 7.5 billion. 1 out of 7.5 billion. What does that place in terms of value for the individual? 0. That's what it does. You have 0 value as a human being. Okay. Disposable. Okay, sorry. That's enough of that. I've got your brain here. And I'm going to give your brain a lovely massage now. Okay, so I hope you enjoy the brain massage. Hope you find it relaxing. How does that feel? Feels quite nice. Very good. I'm just using my fingers and put directly on your brain. Directly using my fingers on your brain. It sounded quite intense, I imagine, because I'm touching some of the nerves on your brain directly. skin to make sure that it is of the perfect quality to turn you into a human skin suit. And of course, by skin suit, I mean I'm going to wear you, essentially, and I'm going to become like you. I will be using your skin as a costume or a disguise. I might use it for some sort of nefarious, evil purpose, or I might just use it for fun. You know, I might go to a Halloween party as you, something like that. Okay, so the first thing I need to do today, before we get into today's skin analysis, I won't actually be cutting you open today and turning you into a suit. I'm just going to be analysing your skin to see if you are suitable for such a purpose. But the very first thing that I need to do is I need to ask you a couple of questions. Okay, a couple of questions. So just a moment. Okay, so my first question for you: do you have a history of skin problems? Anything at all? Maybe eczema, maybe acne? Okay, and were you ever able to identify what triggered these particular skin conditions? Okay, let me think. My next question: have you ever had a skin infection or any diseases? Any diseases at all? Okay, very useful information. Have you ever had an allergic skin reaction to anything? Okay, I think I have a couple more questions for you. Let me see. Do you have a family history of any skin problems at all? So your parents next thing I need to do is I need to put on some latex gloves, because if I'm going to be touching and examining your skin and I find out you do have a skin problem, maybe you have leprosy, that wouldn't be very good if I was just touching you with my bare hands now, would it? That wouldn't be very good at all. That'd be quite stupid of me, in fact. Quite stupid of me. So I'm going to be putting on some latex gloves now. Yes, the latex gloves are now on to perfection, absolute perfection. Okay, now what do I need to do? I think the very first thing I need to do is I need to actually perform an allergy test on your skin. Okay, and in order to do this, I'll do it on your arm, underside of your forearm, I believe will be the perfect location for me to do this. And what I'm going to do essentially is I'm going to draw a grid on your skin with a Sharpie or something of that nature, and then I'm going to use different little allergens. So it's going to be like a little bottle of liquid, and each of the liquids will represent something from the real world, like peanuts or shrimp or some sort of strange thing that is known to cause an allergic reaction to certain people. Okay, and we're going to see how your skin in each quadrant of the grid reacts to each of the allergens. Okay, so if your skin gets all big and red and lumpy, then that indicates that you are in fact allergic to whatever was in that quadrant. Maybe it was peanuts, maybe it was shrimp, who knows? We're going to find out today. That's what we're going to do. Okay, so first things first, let me see if I have a Sharpie in here or something. Little Sharpie maybe. Ah, yes. It looks like I have an unbranded Sharpie, and that is of course because the budget for my evil doings is very low at the moment. Unfortunately, the state of the economy, you know what I'm talking about, inflation. So unfortunately, I do not get as much of a budget for my evil experiments. Big shame, honestly, big shame. Okay, so if you want to hold your arm out for me, please. Okay, I'm just going to draw. On your arm now. Draw a little grid. Okay. Okay, marvelous. Here we go. Sorry, I'm just concentrating because I need the grid to be perfect, of course. And I need to label each quadrant of the grid so that I know what I'm putting in each quadrant of the grid. Of course, not very good if I detect you get an allergic reaction and then I can't remember what that was. That wouldn't be very good at all now, would it? Wouldn't be very good at all. Okay, I'm going to just use a little code on the side. That's right, I'm writing a code on your arm. satisfactory grid. Okay, so I have a lot of little bottles on my desk here. A lot of little bottles, and they all contain a different allergen. Okay, different allergen in each bottle, and I'm going to place each of these allergens, a little droplet from each bottle, little droplet, into one of the quadrants of the grids on your arm, on your skin. Okay, and then we're going to wait a couple of minutes, maybe just 1 minute, that should be enough, and we're going to see if you have any allergic reactions. Okay, so here we go. This is number 1. Very good indeed. Okay. Not sure how many I'm going to do today actually. I do want to make sure that your skin is of the utmost quality and that it's unlikely to have an allergic reaction. Hang on, it's number 2. Very good. Yes, I want to make sure that your skin is of perfect quality, ideally, or that if it does have an allergic reaction, I know what you're allergic to. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Okay, number 3. Oh, very good. Oh, got a little bit on the floor there. That's unacceptable, isn't it? I'm going to have to get Igor to come along and to clean that up for me. If there's one thing that I can't stand, it's lack of cleanliness, lack of order. Okay, I like everything to be well organized and to be clean, because cleanliness is next to godliness, as they say. And just because I'm evil doesn't mean that I don't want to be like a god. You know what I'm saying? We should all aspire to be incredible beings, don't you think? Incredible beings. Just put another one on, sorry. It doesn't really matter what sort of moral alinity we have, as long as we aspire to be great. That's what I think anyway. The worst fate I could possibly imagine is being the sort of loser that just sits at home all day and plays video games. Can you imagine that? Can you imagine that? Imagine living on this earth, let's say 80 years. Let's put another one on. Imagine living on the earth for 80 years and the only thing you did with your time on the planet was play video games. I mean, come on. Come on. There's more to life than video games. Video games are good, I'll say that much. Have you played Fall Guys? I've been playing Fall Guys recently, and it's absolutely sensational. Excellent game. Excellent game, but, you know, maybe I play for 1 hour a day. Absolute maximum. No more than that, because there's other things to be done in life, okay? Other more important things than video games. Okay, there we go. I have now got a little bit of allergen in all of the quadrants on your arm, and we're going to wait a minute or so just to see if you get any allergic reactions to them. Okay. In fact, whilst we wait for that to happen, I might perform a very simple test on your face. Okay, and I'm going to be using this pen for the simple test. As you can see here, actually let me click it out. Here there is a bit of a sharp, pointy tip, and here there is quite a blunt tip, so they should feel very, very different indeed. And I'm going to poke you in the face. I'm going to poke you in the face with either the tip of the pen or the blunt side of the pen. And I want you to close your eyes now for me, please. Close your eyes. Do not cheat. Do not cheat, or I'll know if you're cheating. Sharp or soft? Very good. One more, just one more. One more, okay. Keep those eyes closed. Keep those eyes closed. Sharp or soft? Very good, very well done. You can open your eyes now, that's absolutely fine. That was well performed. Well performed, and it does indicate to me that you have feeling in your face, which is a good sign, indeed. Okay, I think enough time has passed now for me to analyze the grid, the allergy grid that I did on your skin, on your forearm just now, okay? So if you would like to hold your arm out for me, and I'm just going to make some notes about the findings that I find today. Okay, let me just grab my pen. Once more, very useful little device, the pen, isn't it? Using it for all manner of things today. Okay, let me just check. Right, in that quadrant, no allergic reaction. Okay, no allergic reaction. Very good, let me just check that one. Also no allergic reaction. Marvelous start indeed. Check that one. No allergic reaction. Good. No allergic reaction there either. Very good start. Very good start indeed. Just check that one. No allergic reaction. Okay. Marvelous job so far. Wait a minute. You've got an allergic reaction here. You've had an allergic reaction to one of the things. Which one was that? Love and affection. It appears you're allergic to love and affection. That's not something I would have expected looking at you. You know, you look like a soft, weak individual that needs a lot of love and affection and validation from other people. You know what I'm saying? But it appears that you're actually allergic to love and affection. Interesting. Very interesting indeed. Okay, let me just continue now. Look at the other ones as well. No allergic reaction there. Very good. Allergic reaction. No allergic reaction there. Absolutely marvelous. No allergic reaction there. No allergic reaction. Last little quadrant. No allergic reaction there either. No allergic reaction. Okay, so that's actually very promising, I will say, to only have one positive reaction or negative reaction, I suppose, depending on how you look at it. You only have one allergy, and that's love and affection. So when I do eventually cut you open and turn you into a skin suit, for which I will be wearing, I just have to remember not to engage in any sort of affectionate sort of interactions with other people whilst wearing you as a skin suit. Okay, so the next thing that I want to do is I want to actually, I suppose, cut a small sample of your skin off of you. Okay, I think I'll use an anesthetic potion for this. Another anesthetic potion, so that you don't feel anything whilst I'm cutting the skin off of you. Obviously I don't really care if you experience pain or anything, but if you don't feel anything, it will be easier for me. You won't be wriggling around, or you won't be screaming in pain. You know, both of these things inconveniences. They inconvenience me personally, and I do not like to be inconvenienced. Okay, so that's the reason why I'm going to be using an anesthetic potion on you today. Okay, so mess. That's a mess. I'm just going to put a little bit of the local anesthetic. A little bit of the local anesthetic. The local anesthetic on your arm. There we go. Very good. That should take effect almost immediately, within 30 seconds, for sure, for certain. That area of your arm should become numb. What I'm going to do now then is I'm going to use some metal tools to remove a sample of skin from your arm, a chunk of arm, you could say, a chunk of your arm, only a small chunk. You know, nothing to be really concerned about or worried about. This tool might be useful. Got quite a sharp little end to it. Can't really see that, can you? Very well. Dig. That's what I'm thinking. Dig into the skin and just like peel it back. This tool might be useful as well for helping me to just like peel, get right under the skin there, right under the skin, and just remove a large amount. Do you know what's absolutely outrageous to think about? I'm just going to start cutting as I talk to you, okay? So here we go. I'm going to start cutting now. Do you know what's absolutely outrageous? I bought this little set of metal tools from Amazon, and the purpose of the tools is to remove blackheads and to remove spots, I think you might say, and I did attempt to use them for that intended purpose, and they are absolutely shit, worthless, in fact, a complete and utter waste of money, because they did not help to remove blackheads at all. In fact, they probably have a better success rate using just my fingers. Can you imagine? I mean, just ludicrous, quite frankly. Ludicrous. I was absolutely conned. But never again will I buy stupid tools from Amazon that are supposed to do something like remove blackheads. I'm not totally certain, but I do believe that diet is probably a larger part of blackheads. The formation of blackheads probably caused by something in the diet, I would imagine, that's not healthy for us, in a similar way to how acne can be caused by certain elements of the diet as well. So I'm probably going to have to do some further research into that, and unfortunately I'm probably going to have to start eating a little bit more healthily to try and get rid of the blackheads on my nose, okay? Are you looking at my nose right now? Don't look at my nose. Do not try and look at the blackheads on my nose, you little creature. Remember who's boss here. Remember who's currently got terrible surgical tools. I could do anything to you. Please be respectful. Come on now. Be respectful and be nice. Okay? I think a lot of people have blackheads, not just me. Come on now. Really? You're gonna come in here with those kind of manners? Is it disgusting? I might be ugly on the outside, but you're ugly on the inside. How's that? You little bitch. I shouldn't say that, sorry. That's rude. That's rude of me to say. Okay, let me continue. I'm busy. Yeah, I'm trying to cut a little sample of your skin off, okay? And I'm going to send this sample off to my fellow colleagues that work in the laboratory. They're obviously beneath me. I am the head evil doctor in this laboratory, okay? I'm the most important. But you know, our subordinates, they have their uses. You know, delegate tasks to them. Delegate boring tasks that you don't want to do. Unpleasant tasks. send off this little sample of your skin to my subordinates, and they'll probably analyze it, and they'll come back to me to give me a profile of your skin, sort of like the elasticity, the strength, things of that nature that will help me decide whether I should, in fact, cut you open and turn you into a skin suit for me to wear. Okay, so there we go, that's actually all done. Let me just put away my tools nice and neatly. Come on now, get in there, tool. What is this? Maybe I need to turn this one around. Sorry. Oh, it's magnetic. Is that what's going on? It's magnetic. Excellent. The tools are stuck together because they're magnetic. Marvelous design, isn't it? Marvelous design. Thank you, Amazon. Thank you, Amazon. We should boycott Amazon, I think. Just absolutely gigantic corporation with terrible working conditions. Very convenient, obviously, but what price do we pay for convenience? What price do we pay for convenience? Okay, I've actually finished everything that I want to do to you today. As I say, today was just about analysing your skin, a skin analysis to see if it's suitable to turn into a skin suit for me to wear. Okay, so depending on the results that come back from the laboratory, the next time I see you I might actually kill you and cut you open, turn you into a suit for me to wear. Okay, so that's something to look forward to, I think, isn't it? That'd be quite an experience for you. I don't think you've gone through that before, have you? Don't think so. So it'll be a unique experience for you to have. Okay. Okay. I'm all done here. Goodbye. Take care. Hello there. My name is Evil Dr. Jones, and today I have a bit of a fun extra experiment to do on you. Something unexpected, unplanned, and unscheduled. I have been working on a potion in my spare time, a very special potion indeed. Obviously this potion is highly experimental, and I haven't tested it on any living creature yet, not even a mouse, but I think I have you here, so why not just test it on you? You could be the first test subject of my mysterious and unusual potion to see what effects it will have on you. Okay, the last test patient that I tried an experimental potion on, they did unfortunately develop chronic explosive diarrhea. So I do hope that doesn't happen to you today, because it's frankly it's unpleasant for everybody involved, myself included. Okay, I don't want to have to deal with you running off to the bathroom all the time. It's unpleasant. Okay, but this potion that I've been working on, it's designed to enhance your abilities, and in particular your ability to focus, but also your extra sense 6. Have I got 6? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 Pokemon cards. And what I want you to do is I want you to focus on this card, and I want you to use your newfound psychic abilities to tell me what Pokemon is on this card. Okay, and to help you out a little bit, all of these Pokemon are from the first generation of Pokemon, Gen 1. Okay, Gen 1. So, okay, have a little look at the back of this card. Use your brain, use your powers, and tell me which Pokemon is on this card. It is in fact Pikachu. Pikachu. Look at this old artwork. Very cool indeed. He's actually got yellow cheeks instead of red cheeks. That might just be because he's currently using a sort of electric move, and it's sort of covering the red with the yellow electric, maybe. Look how chubby this Pikachu is. Absolutely adorable, don't you think? Don't you think? Isn't it funny how chubby creatures are sometimes adorable? It's quite a phenomenon. Quite a phenomenon indeed. Phenomenon. Okay, you were unsuccessful at correctly identifying the Pikachu, I think. But what about this one? This Pokemon card here. Focus. Focus. Focus your mind. Focus your powers. What is this Pokemon? It is Bellsprout. It's a Bellsprout. Look at this little Bellsprout. It's got little water droplets dropping down on its head. Bonk in the head. Bonk, bonk, bonk. And the Bellsprout seems to be a little bit surprised by the water droplets. What absolutely beautiful artwork as well. The trees in the background. Is this background watercolor? Maybe the whole thing is watercolor. What absolutely beautiful artwork. Wouldn't you agree? Okay, well, once again you failed. You failed. So, you suck. Currently, you're not doing very well. Okay. Maybe the potion isn't as potent as I would like it to be. I may need to go back and adjust the formula. But we'll continue the experiments, of course, very early in today's experiment. Focus. Focus your mind on the card and tell me what Pokemon this card is. It is in fact Lickitung. Look at that Pokemon. What an unusual Pokemon. Such an outrageously large tongue. Why do you require a tongue that large? What purpose does that tongue have? I don't think it has a good purpose at all. Lovely background once again. White cliffs there. Reminds me of the white cliffs of Dover, of course. Okay, so you were incorrect once again. Incorrect once again. Your failure is actually impressive. It's impressive how badly you're doing. But we do have here another card for you to focus on. Okay, so here we go. Redemption. You have the opportunity of redemption. What is this card? Take a guess. It's actually Mankey. Mankey. I quite like Mankey. It's a very angry and aggressive idiot Pokemon. A bit like me, actually. A bit like me. I'm not particularly angry or aggressive. Actually, not towards others, but I do get angry and start swearing at you. Maybe I'll start swearing at you. If you do not correctly identify this Pokemon, okay? So use those psychic powers of yours that have been enhanced by the potion that I've just administered to you and tell me, what is this card? It's Ponyta. Ponyta. Okay, so this artwork is another original piece of artwork from... Is this from the base set? I'm not too sure. But look at the unusual background. I think computer generated now. Maybe not. Maybe I'm stupid. But we have again watercolor for the actual Pokemon. And I must say I love the use of watercolors in these Pokemon cards. I think very well done. Very beautiful, very effective. Okay, last card. Okay, so this is your last chance to prove to me that you are not a complete waste of space. So please tell me what Pokemon is on this card. It's Magmar. Okay, I used to hate this Pokemon when I was a child. I think predominantly because it has a butt head. It has a butt head, a head that looks like a butt, a bottom, a bum. And I don't like that. I don't like that one bit. Not one bit at all. Okay, so unfortunately you were not able to correctly identify any of these cards, any of these Pokemon cards. So it looks like the potion has not had much of a good positive effect on you, but perhaps it has a delayed reaction time or something of that nature. Okay, so we will continue going through the list of experiments. I have a list of experiments to go through now. Let's go into the next one. Okay, so I have a bag of dinosaurs. You may be thinking to yourself, how is that possible? How is it possible to have a bag of dinosaurs? Well, I do. Okay. I need you to guess what color the dinosaur is going to be. Okay. Use your extra sensory perception and tell me, please, what color is this dinosaur? Here it comes. Take a guess. What color? That's right, it is. Wait a minute, is this green or is this invisible? I can't quite tell. It's an unusual dinosaur, isn't it? I think we'll pass. We'll do a pass on that one. Okay, the next dinosaur. What color is this dinosaur now? Please take a guess. It's actually orange. It's an orange dinosaur. I'm not sure what these dinosaurs are. I'm not a dinosaur aficionado, unfortunately, which I do. I like dinosaurs. Oh, this one's saying hello as well. Hello. Say hello back to the dinosaur. Don't be rude. Say hello. Hello. Very affectionate, these little dinosaurs, aren't they? Very affectionate indeed. I like his arms, his little arms. Boop, boop, boop. How unusual to have such tiny arms. What use do they have? Little arms like that. Okay, we're going to do one more, so prepare your brain. Let me just have a little look through my bag of dinosaurs here. Okay, this is a dinosaur we haven't seen yet. What color is this dinosaur? It's yellow, a yellow dinosaur. This one very similar to the previous dinosaur in terms of its structure, the way it stands. All of that, very interesting indeed. Quite a wrinkly dinosaur, isn't it? Look how wrinkly that dinosaur is. Oh, this one's saying hello as well. Hello. Okay, that's enough of that dinosaur. Come on, playing cards. You know what I'm saying? Probably familiar with playing cards, aren't you? Unless you're a total reprobate. Is that how you say that word? I'm not sure. Okay, but I'm going to hold up a card and you're going to tell me red or black. But you're going to tell me red or black before I reveal the card to you. Okay, so red or black? This one's red. This one's red. Okay, that one's red. Red or black? Black. That one's black. Okay, black. Red or black? That's a red one. That's a red one. That's quite nice, isn't it? We've had alternating colours so far. Alternating colours, that's quite nice. I like that. Red or black? Black. The pattern continues. The pattern of alternating colours continues. What's the odds of that? What is the odds of that? Red or black? It's black. The pattern's been ruined. The pattern has been ruined. Okay, last one. Red or black? Black again. Black seems to have dominated the outcome of these cards. Let me just quickly check. What's the next experiment? The next experiment. We're going to be doing higher or lower now. Okay, higher or lower. Let me shuffle the cards because I think I just put those back on the top, which would be stupid of me, wouldn't it? Stupid of me. Okay, here we go. What I'm going to do then is I'm going to show you the first card, which is a king, and you're going to use your psychic abilities, your ESP, to tell me higher or lower than the king. Okay, look at that fellow's face. What an absolutely curious looking fellow. Marvellous moustache, interesting beard and hair. He looks very well groomed. Very well groomed. Right, okay. Higher or lower than the king? Let's find out. It's a 5. It was lower. Okay, higher or lower than a 5? Let's find out. It was higher. It was higher than a 5. It was an 8. Okay, so higher or lower than an 8? Let's find out. What is the ace? Is it high or low? I think it's either one, isn't it? I think it's either one. Okay, so that's a freebie for you. But that doesn't make much sense, does it? Because then if you say higher or lower from the ace, that would also be correct. So we say high or low. I don't know. I'm stupid. Let's forget about the ace, okay? Restart. Oh my god, a second ace. A second bloody ace in a row. What are the odds of that? Very low indeed. It better not be a third ace, otherwise I'm gonna lose my shit. That was actually unscripted. I don't know how I just managed to pull 3 aces in a row. Good God, that would have been a good thing to No shot did I just pull the 4 aces back to back to back to back. Maybe it's just badly shuffled. Okay, forget about all of that. We have the jack here. Not as much of a beard as the king. In fact, no beard. Just a little moustache. Okay, but higher or lower than the jack? Let's find out. Is lower. 4 was lower than a jack, wasn't it? It's lower. Okay, higher or lower than a 4? This is the last one now, okay? It's a 5, so it's just one higher than the 4. Good job indeed. That was a fun little bit, wasn't it? A fun session there. 74. 74 is the number written on the clipboard, okay? Scratch that. A new number. This number again between 0 and 100. What is the number? What is the number? Here it comes. 83. 83. Okay, we're gonna do this one more time. One more time, okay. A number between 0 and 100. What is this number? What is this number? Use your psychic powers. Tell me, determine what is the number that I just wrote down. 100. Exactly. Well done. Maybe the psychic powers are working. Maybe the potion is working. You've had a few positive results throughout today's experiment. Maybe it is working. Maybe it is an effective potion. Okay, similar experiment now. But I'm going to be drawing a shape. Okay, here we go. I've just drawn a shape. Can you tell me now? What shape did I just draw? What shape did I just draw? A triangle. A triangle. Okay, let's see. I'm going to draw another shape. What shape did I just draw? What shape did I just draw? A circle. A circle. Okay. I'm going to draw another shape. Okay, another shape. Drawing another shape currently. Okay, it's a little bit more complex, this shape. A little bit more complex. What shape did I just draw? Use the psychic powers. Use the psychic powers. A smiley face. A smiley face. Have you ever had potato smiley faces before? Is that a thing where you come from in your country? When I was a child, I used to eat smiley faces all the time. Little potato snacks that you put in the oven and you cook them up, and they look a little bit like this. They look a little bit like this. They have holes for eyes and the mouth. What a delicious little potato snack. I think maybe I'll buy some. Maybe I'll go shopping and buy some smiley faces again. A little bit of nostalgia for me. A little bit of a childhood memory indulgence. Delightful. Okay, my next experiment for you. I have a bag of secret objects. A bag of secret objects. And the objects will reveal themselves, of course, in a moment. But I want you to tell me, please, what is the color of this object? What color is it? What color is it? Yellow. This is a yellow pom-pom. A yellow pom-pom. That makes some nice sounds, doesn't it? Very delicate, gentle sounds. This one feels a bit strange. It almost doesn't have a very good structure. It just feels like a lump of cotton. It's almost like this was incredibly cheap and badly made. Although I suppose, what purpose does a pom-pom serve? Does it really need to be a perfect sphere? Does it really need to be a perfect sphere? Maybe not. Maybe not. Okay. Let me just go in my little bag again. Okay, this object is a little bit different, but very similar. Very similar. What color is this object? What color is the object? sound in your left or your right ear. But before I make the sound, before I make it, I want you to tell me please left or right ear. Okay, so take a guess now. Which ear will I make the sound in, left or right? Interesting. Interesting. I'm going to make another sound. Left or right? Which one? Very interesting. Interesting. Okay, we'll continue. We'll go a little bit faster. Okay, left or right? 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 A bit more gentle that sound, wasn't it? A bit more gentle. Left or right? Left or right? Left or right? Okay, that's interesting. You can open your eyes. Interesting data there. Okay, I'm going to do a taste test with you now. I have 3 different bottles. Each of the bottles contains a flavour, an artificial flavour. Obviously, usually this would be used in a medical context to see if your sense of flavour is working, your sense of taste, I should say. But in this instance, we're going to be testing your psychic ability. Okay, so before I feed this one to you, can you tell me first of all, before I feed it to you, what does it taste like? What does this taste like? Okay, now I'm going to feed it to you. Have a little taste of that. It actually tastes like caramel. Okay, actually tastes like caramel. Taste number 2. Taste number 2. Coming right up. Coming right up. Are you ready for taste number 2? Please tell me, before I give it to you, please tell me, what flavour is this? What flavour is this? What flavour is it? Okay, what flavour is it? Okay, have a little taste of that for me. Have a little taste of that. What flavour was that? It was sherbet lemon. Okay, sherbet lemon. Taste number 3. The final flavour of today. This is actually the final experiment as well. So I've recorded a lot of data in my mind as we've been going through these experiments. And I'm going to use them to analyse the efficacy of the potion that I made earlier. Okay, so what flavour is this? Please tell me. What flavour is this? Okay, if that's what you think, I'll give you a little taste now. It was in fact the flavour, the taste of revenge. Revenge tastes like revenge. Tastes sweet, I think. Revenge tastes sweet. Is that what it is? Okay. Well, interesting results, I must say. Some mixed results as well. Not exactly what I was hoping for. I was hoping for more efficacy from the potion. I wanted you to be extremely psychic, to have incredible ESP abilities, extra sensory perception abilities, because if you did, then the potion would have indeed been effective, and I could have used the potion for all manner of evil things. Could have taken it myself. But it could have been worse. There could have been some sort of horrific side effect to the potion atmosphere, and that's the current science. So my message to you really is never trust science fully, because we're always making new discoveries, we're always changing, okay? Things are evolving, our tiny little brains, we can barely understand anything. But I'm digressing quite badly, actually. We have finished today. Thank you so much for swallowing the potion. Not that you had much choice. Thank you for doing the experiments with me and for giving me all this data. Okay, so